Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Joey Moss with Bad Boy Gaming. There is just a ridiculous amount to talk about today, especially Mythics. Watsy decided to unload just a plethora of Mythic cards on us, and some are very powerful. Some seem a little underwhelming, and there are some rares that maybe should be Mythics. It's crazy what we're going to get into here, but a quick reminder, a great way to support the channel for absolutely free. Simply subscribe, and I appreciate each and every one of you watching. And hitting that like button, it helps out a lot. Let's get into the madness. Ravager Wurm starts things off. He fights all the oppression throughout Ravnica. He sure does, though. Ravager Wurm's a 6-drop with Gruul colors. It is a mythic. It's the first mythic we're going to talk about today. It has the riot ability. This creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste. That alone's not bad. So, I mean, essentially it could be a 5/6 or it could be a 4/5 with haste. Also, when Ravager Wurm enters the battlefield, choose up to 1. This is what makes this card pretty good. Ravager Wurm fights target creature you don't control. So if you have it enter the battlefield with the +1/+1 counter on it, it's a 5/6. It can beat up one of those angels, the 5/5 angel that's always pesky. And it survives that battle, which is amazing. On top of that, it destroys target land with an activated ability that isn't a mana ability, which means it's going to blow up your flipped Escanta. It's going to blow up the Treasure Cove. It's going to do a lot of damage here. This is kind of a card we did need in this format, especially with Gruul. I think it's going to go well. It's definitely a huge bomb, of course, in Limited, but it's also going to see play in Constructed. You may not see a play set of these, but 1, 2 of in decks, maybe even included in the sideboard. Probably going to see this thing sideboarded quite a bit, along with your Carnage Tyrants and whatnot. Definitely a cool card. I like it. Let's move on. Bolrak Clan Crusher. Only 2 uncommons today that I'm going to talk about. It's a 5-drop. Tap it, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Bolrak Clan Crusher deals 2 damage to any target. It's a 4/4. With all of our +1/+1 counters currently in the meta, or in the standard, this card will see a little bit of play. I'm not sure exactly how much yet again. You got the depose, and deploy. Deploy. Tap target creature, draw a card. That alone is not too bad. Create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Then you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Pretty cool. Azorius colors. I'd love to see what all decks are going to be made. I really want to see Karn. I want to see Karn used and abused, and I'm anticipating a price spike in Karn. And reason for that is all of these Thopter tokens coming out, or that at least allow Thopters to hit the battlefield, the life gain. We're definitely going to see Karn played a lot more. Will we see a top deck Karn with these colors? I'm not sure, but it's something I'm really excited and looking forward to. Spawn of Mayhem. Cool artwork on this thing. It does feel like a mythic. You will see some of these mythics don't really feel like a mythic, and I want you guys to give me your feedback on that. Do you think this card? I'm 100% sold on. If you don't think this card deserves mythic, there's something wrong with you. Spawn of Mayhem. It's a 4-drop creature demon. It's not legendary, which is pretty cool. Spectacle for 3. Again, what Spectacle is, you may cast this spell for its Spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. So essentially, you can bring this thing in turn 3. You can cast this flying trample demon 4/4 on turn 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, Spawn of Mayhem deals 1 damage to each player. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a +1/+1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem. So you can get this thing to be a 5/5. It doesn't matter as long as you're less than 10 life. You can just continuously put a +1/+1 counter on it. I believe that's how it works. So each and every turn that occurs, which is just nuts. Rakdos aggro deck enables other Spectacle cards. It sure does, because you're going to be dealing that 1 damage to each player each turn. You can activate Spectacle costs with it, which is pretty phenomenal. I think Spawn of Mayhem is going to see a lot of play. Possibly play sets, at least 3 of in many decks. This alongside with the other demon, I mean, it's going to be chaotic, guys. Maybe even that win con with the, the 5-drop enchantment we'll probably see some play as well with these new demon cards and the lesser casting costs of some of these demons that are coming out. We're going to see that maybe pulled off. I for sure am going to make a deck around it. Teysa Karlov. Basically Panharmonicon with a body, minus artifact triggers. Legendary creature, human advisor. It's a 4-drop. Oh, this is going to be insane stupid. And we're going to, commander players are going to love this card as well. This card is bonkers. It's a 2-4. I love that it's a 2-4. Anything that's 3 or less toughness is typically extremely easy to remove, you know, in any format. But because it has 4 for toughness, it makes it a little bit more difficult to remove, avoiding like lightning strikes and things of that nature. What does it do? If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Oh my. Creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. This thing's almost broken and stupid, and let's get into all the silly, stupid fun we can have with it. Ashes of the Abhorrent. Players can't cast spells from their graveyards, etc. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. So it's going to trigger twice. So now you're going to get 2 life. Poison Tip Archer. The Reach, the Death Touch. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. They're going to lose 2 life now. Revel in Riches. Really cool card. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game. You're going to double up on your Revel in Riches with this card. Now, do keep in mind, though, it does say if a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that does apply for your opponents as well. So be careful with that. You can easily kill yourself or be killed by your own card. Also, Alanda the Dusk Rose, legendary creature, vampire knight. It's got the life link. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Alanda the Dusk Rose. It's going to double that. When Alanda dies, create X/1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink where X is Alanda's power. What are you stupid crazy? This thing's just going to blow up and splash the entire field with tokens like nuts. But consider this. Open the Graves in combination with something like Divine Visitation, or just in combination with this card on its own. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. You're going to be doubling your zombies. So if you had open the Graves out, you're creating not 2. I'm sorry, you're creating 2. Create a 2/2 black zombie. You're going to create 2 of those. But then on top of that, with Divine Visitation, you're going to be able to create 2 4/4 white angels with that. And then think about Alana the Dusk Rose when she dies. How many tokens with Divine Visitation would splash out? I don't know. I can't do the math right now, but it's freaking through the roof. It's essential. Essentially, I'm so pumped. I'm sorry, guys. You could get like 20 4/4 white angels out in one turn if all goes well. I mean, that is insane. Just imagine. And then someone just drops a board wipe on you. That's sad. Light of the Legion also. It has when Light of the Legion dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each white creature you control. So now you're going to get double that. You're going to be able to put 2 +1/+1 counters on all your creatures, making all their power and toughness jump by 2. Judith the Scourge Diva, new card that just came out. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith the Scourge Diva deals 1 damage to any target. Now it's going to deal 2 damage to any target. Pretty, I want to say pretty freaking sweet. Slimefoot the Stowaway. Whenever a sapling you control dies, Slimefoot the Stowaway deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Bada bing, trigger, double it. Give me all that. This is going to be insanity. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be insanity. In Modern, Ancient Rider. When Ancient Rider enters the battlefield or dies, exile target permanent. Let's do that twice now. Skull Clamp, busted, broken, stupid with this card. When equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards. Awesome. Let's just keep equipping and drawing cards for the rest of our life. Blood Artist, it's a 2-drop. Whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Now we're going to drain them so ridiculously fast with this kind of combination. This thing's off the charts. Atheros, God of Passage, 1 card I thought about right away when I heard of this. It's a 3-drop indestructible. Whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. Holy crap! We are just going to drain the heck out of our opponent or make him pay, or we're going to continue to play those cards. Kokusho, the Evening Star, 6-drop. Each opponent loses 5 life. If this thing dies, you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So that's like a swap of 10 and 10. That's nuts. It is seriously nuts. The card is just ridiculous. But I don't know if it's busted or how far busted it is. I mean, we're going to find out. But it's amazing that we have that kind of card in standard right now. Let's get into a little bit of blue here. Mass Manipulation. We don't see too many spells with 4 islands in the casting cost. What does it do? Gain control of X target creatures and or planeswalkers. The casting cost is very steep. When it has double X, it means you got to pay X twice. So you're paying X once, and you got to pay X twice. And then you can start taking control of their creatures. Or planeswalkers. That's pretty amazing. And you gain control of them. Very, very powerful. Maybe some sideboard action. You're going to need to have some crazy ramp or mana base or nutty control deck to keep the game flowing deep enough so you can utilize Mass Manipulation. But a card very similar to it, one of my favorites of all time. Love the artwork on it too. Invoke Prejudice, that 4-drop. I don't know if you guys know about this. Awesome, awesome card. If opponent, it's irrelevant. It's just a 4-drop card. But if opponent casts a summon spell that does not match the color of one of the creatures under your control, that spell is countered unless the caster pays an additional X, where X is the casting cost of the summon spell. Very brilliant, powerful card. I think this thing's going for like $1,000 now in mint condition, or near in gem mint. Ridiculous. Very, very strong, very powerful. I actually made a whole video on this card. If you dig in my videos, you can find it. Really cool. Wilderness Reclamation is stupid as well. Mix it with the Skanta, the Sunken Ruins, and you're going to go find your own win condition. What does it do? Wilderness Reclamation at the beginning of your end step. Untap all lands you control. What does Skanta do? Basically, you're going to be able to play this every single turn with Wilderness Reclamation. You can just continuously do it. You can play on your turn. You can play it on their turn. You just continuously go until you find your win con. Wilderness Reclamation is going to see play. Amplifier. Funny card. It's a 4-drop. Elemental. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Until your next turn, Amplifier's base power becomes twice that card's power, and its base toughness becomes twice that card's toughness. Put the revealed cards at the bottom of your library in a random order. You can get this thing to be a 32/32 if you have Impervious Great Worm top decked. Holy crap, that is stupid. Give it trample and you blow out your opponent. I'm just saying, ridiculous fun card. Going to see a lot of fun with Amplifier for sure. Skarrgan Hellkite. All right. Not sure why it's mythic, though. It is a 5-drop. Riot. This creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste. It's got flying, but also for 4. Skarrgan Hellkite deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Activates ability only if Skarrgan Hellkite has a +1/+1 counter on it. It is a 4/4. It's a dragon. I love my dragons. I think the artwork on it's pretty sweet, too. But I'm not sure why it was mythic. It seems a little underwhelming. If it was a 4-drop for that, I can understand, or maybe what some other ability. I'm not sure. Maybe am I underestimating this card's potential? Possibility. I'm not too certain. Let me know what you guys think on the Hellkite. Seraph of the Scales. This card, it does seem fun though. But it does feel like a rare. It's a 4-drop. It's an angel. Love my angels as well. It's got flying. If you tap good old pay at planes, Seraph of the Scales gains vigilance until end of turn. For black mana, Seraph of the Scales gains death touch until end of turn. It's a 4/3 with Afterlife 2. When this creature dies, create 2 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. Remember the Afterlife with the what triggers the other card we talked about earlier in this. That's something I missed right there, but holy smokes, it's going to be insane. It does feel like a rare, though. If it only had it first strike, I understand. It is white-black, so it probably not going to have first strike. But if they gave it first strike, I would concede if I went up against this deck, against this angel. But without that, I'm just not sure how powerful it's going to be. And it does have a 3 for toughness. That is one thing I just didn't really care too much for. It's going to be killed. It's going to be killed easily, but at least you're going to get 2 tokens out of it when it dies and they're flying. That's good and all, I guess. Another card I'm just on the edge about. I wish they would have made it a 4/4. I really do. I think a 4/4 with that casting cost, it would have been mythic worthy. I think it just fell a little shy of that. Precognitive Perception, Teferi's new buddy. That's right. I know, Teferi's stupid. He's already through the roof. I think he's going for $55 right now, close to 60. Just ridiculous. But this thing's going to make him a little bit better, or give you more chances to really get to your win con faster, and just something to do on your turn when you have Teferi out late game, or mid to late. For 5, draw 3 cards. It's a rare. Addendum, if you cast this spell during your main phase, instead scry 3, then draw 3 cards. So basically you're digging. You can dig about 6 cards deep almost. Or you can, essentially. That's ridiculous. It's going to pair very beautifully with Teferi. Expect to see probably 2, 3, maybe play sets with those kind of decks. Something that it's nuts. And also I wanted to announce, I plan on making a daddy issue deck. That's right, Joey Moss is going into control with a very unique control build, and we will see that in this new set. I think a lot of you are pretty excited for that. I'm really excited for it too. It's going to be a stupid good control deck. I promise you that. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. It does help out a lot, and you can support the channel again just simply by subscribing. It's absolutely free. Especially if you find yourself continuously coming back to my videos, why not subscribe? All right, I hope you enjoyed all the hype and excitement. Plenty more of these spoilers will be on the way, possibly tonight, tomorrow. Also, catch me on Twitch. We will be live streaming tonight on Twitch. I hope to see you guys there. There's links in the description of every video of how to get to my Twitch. We'll have some fun. As always, guys, we'll see you later.